Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. In today's video we are gonna be testing out the L'Oreal Fresh Wear foundation. This is definitely nothing new. I have seen a lot of people raving about it. I'm not really a person to buy anything that's just come out. I normally wait and see what everyone else thinks about the product before I go on and purchase it, and that was the case this time as well. It is not a recent purchase though. I actually picked up this foundation probably about 5 or 6 months ago, very long time ago. I picked this up in Superdrugs, and the reason I haven't uploaded a video before using this because I was moving house, getting married, going on honeymoon, so I just didn't have the time. But today is the day, we are finally here. So as you can see, the packaging is very similar to some other foundations L'Oreal has. For example, the True Match foundation comes in the same gloss packaging and the same kind of pump. It's just a little bit of a different color. Standard size as well, 1 fluid ounce or 30 milliliter. I picked it up in the shade 145 Beige Rose, and I have this on already. As you can see, it's a really good color match for me. I would not necessarily call it a rose shade because it's definitely still more on the yellow side, but from what I can see, they have a really good shade range. They have 26 shades available. I'm gonna insert a picture for you to see what colors they have. They swatch them on 4 different ladies' arms. As you can see, the lightest shade is too light for the first lady and the darkest shade is too dark for the last lady, but it is definitely not as pink as I would like it to be. I normally have this problem with drugstore foundations. They all seem to be more on the neutral or yellow side for me, and I normally struggle to find my shade in the drugstore, and this time wasn't any different, but I feel like I managed to pick up a very good shade straight away. This Beige Rose is honestly looking really beautiful on me. It retails for £10.99. I'm not sure how much is in the USA or in any other country. It is definitely on the higher end of the spectrum as far as drugstore foundations go, but L'Oreal itself is quite the priciest end of the spectrum as far as drugstore makeup goes, so that's not a big surprise. Most of their foundations and mascaras retail for £10.99, so I think that's quite standard. I think I picked up my one for £8 or £9 because they were running a bit of a promotion when I bought it. I'm gonna read you a couple of things that they claim on the website regarding to this product. They say weightless feel, fresh wear liquid foundation, transfer proof, life proof, party proof and waterproof. Now I understand transfer proof and waterproof. I have no idea what it means to be life proof or party proof, so I cannot either confirm or deny those. Long wear formula lasts up to 24 hours. Now please don't wear your makeup for 24 hours. No compromise, full coverage base. No, this is not a full coverage foundation. Ultra stretchable gel formula. Now, gel formula, I don't think it's a gel formula. I think it is a quite water-based foundation. It is a really beautiful foundation, so don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. I've had this foundation on for about 4 hours at this point, and I feel like it still feels really good on the skin. It's not separating, it's not fading. It started getting a little bit oily, but nothing major. I definitely think that it is on the lighter coverage side. I have no idea why they're trying to claim to be a full coverage. It is buildable coverage. When I applied the first layer, I had a really light, beautiful coverage. I did really enjoy it at that point, and I applied the second layer and I was like, I think I want to use my beauty blender and remove some of it, which I did. So whilst it is buildable, I would say you're better off staying with the lighter coverage, because if you want to have a full coverage foundation, go and buy a full coverage foundation. I definitely wouldn't try to build up a light to medium coverage foundation to full coverage, because that's not gonna look good. And I think the best benefits and advantages of this foundation is it being lightweight. So in the future, when I want to have a no makeup day, that's when I would want to wear this foundation. This is actually the type of foundation that if you use just one layer, you won't necessarily need to use things like bronzer and blush to give back some color to your face, because things will still show through. And I personally love foundations like that. I don't really like full coverage foundations. And when I decided to purchase this one, I was looking for alternatives of the Maybelline Fit Me foundation, and I do think that this one is quite similar. The first ingredient of the foundation is water though, so it is a really liquidy, really water-based foundation. Probably that's why it's called fresh wear. Even though I've been wearing it for 4 hours, I don't feel like it's getting heavy on my face. I don't feel like I want to run and remove it as soon as I can. It is not full coverage though, and please don't try to wear it for 24 hours. I feel like a lot of companies are trying to claim being super long wear and super full coverage. Most of us don't really wear a full face of makeup on an everyday basis. I feel like whilst it is not full coverage, there's nothing wrong with that. You need those foundations. There is definitely a market for them. We're gonna jump right into the video now, where I'm gonna apply this foundation for the first time. And I'm not gonna do 24 hours. So after about 8 hours, I'm gonna come back and show you how it's looking, and then I will tell you my final thoughts, because after 4 hours, I shouldn't be really telling you yet, because this is the first time I'm using my foundation, so I have no idea how it's gonna look later on. But right now, it's looking amazing. I'm really loving it, and I definitely am going to keep it in my drawer and carry on using it. Anyway, let's jump right into the part when we apply it, and I will tell you my thoughts about this foundation after 8 hours wear. Okay, so I applied my primer already, and today it is the Primark Prep and Perfect Hydrate Primer. So now we can get into applying the foundation itself. Once again, I have it in the shade 145 Beige Rose. And I've got my damp beauty blender ready as well. So I just take one pump of product. I'm gonna apply it straight to the skin because it's quite liquidy. The color looks like a really good match. It actually feels quite similar to the Chanel Vita Lumiere foundation that was quite water-based as well. I'm not sure now if my beauty blender is gonna be the best way to apply it. I'm gonna take a brush instead, simply because I know from using the Chanel Vita Lumiere foundation that if a foundation is quite water-based, the beauty blender will just soak up too much of the product. So I'm just gonna use this Zoeva buffer brush instead. As soon as you start moving around the foundation, you can feel the scent of it. It's a really nice, fresh, floral scent. I wouldn't say that it covered up any of the imperfections, to be honest. I had one here and I can still see it, even if it's not as prominent as it was, but I can still see it. It is definitely more of a summery foundation for the days when you don't want too much makeup on, and I do prefer foundations like this. It still feels a bit sticky, so that means that it's gonna take some time to really set, which is not a problem because we are gonna work on the other side of the face now. I'm gonna test now the beauty blender because I just wanna see how would it work with the beauty blender. It definitely soaks up a lot of the product because I hardly got any coverage out of it on this side. Don't get me wrong, I actually do really like how it looks on this side. it's almost undetectable, and for an everyday foundation, that is what I'm looking for. So I actually do really like how it looks like on this side with the Beauty Blender, because I normally don't have any breakouts, and so I don't need too much coverage. But for the sake of this video, to see how much we can build it up, I'm gonna be using the brush now. And after that, if I feel like I can't really buff it out, then I'm gonna go back and use the Beauty Blender again. So I'm gonna add some more product on this side of the face just to balance out the other side. It actually covered up this red dot quite well now that I'm using the buffer brush. Alright, so now I'm gonna go back with a second layer because I wanna see if I can build this up a little. So far it looks really nice and it feels really natural, so I do really like it so far. It doesn't settle in any lines. My pores look a bit shiny in this area, but most foundations do that unless the foundation is completely matte, and I'm gonna go back with some concealer in that area anyways. So I'm just gonna take some more of the foundation and apply a second layer all over the face. And now I'm gonna take some concealer. I'm gonna take my Born This Way sculpting concealer in the shade Nude. Basically, I'm just gonna add some, or actually quite a lot, and use a smaller concealer buffer brush to work that into the skin. I would normally use my Beauty Blender, but because my eyebrows are done already, I want to be a bit more precise with the application. And I'm gonna take the same concealer in the shade Snow and basically just brighten up certain areas of the face with it. So now I'm gonna take some Ben Nye translucent setting powder to just set the whole face, and then I'm gonna use some MAC Fix Plus to spray it down before we move on. Okay, so this is how we look right now. I feel like the powder really managed to mattify this foundation. My pores don't look big anymore. I think everything looks really nice right now. I'm gonna go off camera and I'm gonna finish the rest of my makeup, and then I will be back to show you once again. Okay guys, so this is a really quick check-in. I completely forgot to check in after the rest of my makeup was done. The foundation's been on for about 2 hours now, so I just wanted to show you how it looks once everything is settled. Honestly, it's looking really good. I don't feel like it's getting cakey or coming off anywhere. It's definitely not a matte foundation, so on my forehead I can see that it's getting a little bit shiny, and also here right next to my nose, those are the areas where I normally get shiny first. So yeah, I'm gonna check in with you again in about, I would say, another 4 hours to make it to the 6-hour mark. This is how we're looking so far. It looks really natural, really healthy. I think it's gorgeous. Alright, so we are at the 6-hour mark now. Yeah, my whole T-zone is definitely getting more shiny. Other than that, no, there's not much to say. It definitely is fading a little bit around my mouth and around my nose. Those are very typical areas for everyone. Things look a little bit dry under my eyes, but I think that's more the concealer than the foundation itself. So yeah, it looks really good. The only issue is that it can't hold my oils in bay. It is not catered toward oily skin, so I'm not surprised that that's the case. So yeah, I will see you guys in 2 hours to wrap up this video, and I will tell you what I think at that point. Okay guys, so it's been about 7.5 hours. I'm really sorry, I can't wait any longer because I just feel so tired now. Honestly, it's almost 10 o'clock in the evening. I started filming really late today and I just really want to take off my contact lenses, but obviously if I take off my contact lenses I need to remove my makeup as well, so I think it's time to wrap up with this video. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in a little bit. I mean, not a little bit, this is technically as much as I can zoom you in. So this is how my face is looking like. As you can see, I don't have any separation, any cakiness, no problem basically. I do have some shine. I feel like it's a really healthy shine. I have a combination skin, so that's just how it is. Here on the face where my skin is more dehydrated, obviously I don't have any shininess, but I can still see my highlight, my bronzer, so I feel like the makeup stays on top of it really nicely. I'm honestly very happy with this foundation. I think it looks really nice. This is probably not the best time of the year to wear it though. I definitely think that this is more of like a being active outside in the good weather kind of foundation. In the winter I prefer things like my Maybelline Superstay foundation, or you know, something a bit more full coverage. But yeah, it's a really nice foundation, and I'm just really surprised that it not being a foundation catered toward oily skin, it still managed to hold up very well, and I didn't have any serious issue with getting shiny, because that's normally the biggest concern for me. So it's definitely a big thumbs up from me for this foundation. I think it held up really well, and I will definitely carry on using it. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have tried out this foundation in the past. What did you think about it? Is it one of your favorites? I have seen a lot of people on YouTube reviewing this foundation, so I have a feeling that quite a few of you tried this already, so I definitely wanna hear what skin type do you have and does it work for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you very soon. Bye. I get lost inside my thoughts, and when I start to think, oh, the time how close it starts to end up on the bridge.